Well's secret. Nestled in the heart of Willowbrook Forest stood an ancient stone well, shrouded in mystery and legend. Villagers called it the Wishing Well of Echoes. For generations, stories were told of how the well granted wishes, but with a peculiar twist. It rewarded the selfless and punished the selfish. Though many believed the tales were mere folklore, the well's reputation endured. Some approached it with hope, others with greed, but no one could deny its enchanting presence. On the edge of the forest, its moss-covered stones sparkled as though touched by magic, and the faint sound of water below carried whispers of unseen wisdom. This is where our story begins, with a girl named Clara. Clara's burden. Clara was 12 years old, with a heart bigger than her tiny frame. Since losing her parents in an accident years before, she lived with her little brother, Tommy, in the care of their grandmother. Granny May was kind but frail, and Clara had taken it upon herself to shoulder the family's burdens. Each morning, Clara worked at the village bakery to earn money for food, while Tommy helped Granny May with chores. They had little but made do with what they had. Yet Clara's one wish was for her grandmother to regain her health. One crisp autumn day, Clara heard a commotion in the marketplace. A traveling merchant, old and wise-looking, was recounting tales of the Wishing Well of Echoes. "They say the well listens to the heart," he said, his voice booming. "Make a wish with pure intentions, and it will grant your desire. But beware, if your heart harbors greed, the well will take something precious in return." Clara's curiosity was piqued. Could the well truly help Granny May? A greedy neighbor. In the same village lived Mr. Thornton, a wealthy but miserly man who owned half the land in Willowbrook. His fortune was built on taking advantage of others, and though his mansion stood tall, his heart was as cold as the coins he hoarded. Hearing the merchant's story, Mr. Thornton scoffed. "Superstitious nonsense," he grumbled. But the idea lingered. What if the well did work? He imagined himself becoming even richer, owning not just the land but the entire village. Determined to test the legend, Thornton decided he'd visit the well that very night. 2 journeys. Clara and Tommy set off for the well the following morning, a small basket of bread and apples between them. The path through Willowbrook Forest was winding and serene, the golden leaves crunching underfoot as sunlight danced through the canopy above. As they walked, Clara explained the legend to Tommy. "It's not just about making a wish," she said. "You have to mean it, really mean it. The well knows what's in your heart." Tommy nodded solemnly, clutching the basket. "Then we should wish for Granny May to get better." Unbeknownst to them, Mr. Thornton had already arrived at the well. The night before, he'd thrown in a gold coin and whispered his wish, to double his wealth. He had laughed to himself, certain the well couldn't discern his intentions. But the next morning, Thornton woke to find that all his riches, his coins, his jewels, even the deeds to his properties, had vanished. Panicked, he returned to the well, furious and vowing to uncover its trick. At the well. When Clara and Tommy arrived at the well, its beauty took their breath away. Ivy curled around the stones, and the water at the bottom glistened like liquid silver. Clara stepped closer, her heart pounding. She reached into the basket and took out an apple. "The merchant said you should offer something," she whispered to Tommy, placing the apple on the well's edge. Then, clasping her hands together, she spoke softly. "Please," she began, "help my grandmother get better. She's kind and has taken care of us for so long. She deserves to be happy and healthy again." Tommy added, "We just want her to smile more." For a moment, nothing happened. Then the water below rippled, and a soft breeze swirled around them, carrying the faintest sound of laughter. It wasn't menacing, rather it felt warm and reassuring. The siblings exchanged a glance, a spark of hope in their eyes. Thornton's return. Just as they turned to leave, Mr. Thornton stormed into the clearing, his face red with anger. "You!" he barked, spotting the children. "What are you doing here?" Clara stepped protectively in front of Tommy. "We were making a wish," Thornton sneered. "Foolish kids, this well is a trick. It took everything from me." He grabbed the apple Clara had left as an offering and tossed it aside. "There's no magic here, just lies." But as soon as the apple hit the ground, the wind picked up, howling through the forest. Thornton stumbled back as the well began to glow, a faint blue light emanating from its depths. The voice of the well, soft but firm, echoed through the clearing. Greed poisons the heart. Selflessness brings light. Thornton's eyes widened in terror. What? What's happening? The glow intensified, and Thornton clutched his chest, collapsing to his knees. No, he cried. I'll change, I swear. But the well was silent now, its judgment past. A miraculous turn. As Thornton scrambled to his feet and fled, Clara and Tommy were left in awe. The forest seemed to hum with energy, as though it too had witnessed the well's power. Clara felt a warmth in her chest, a sense of peace she hadn't felt in years. When they returned home, something extraordinary awaited them. Granny May was outside, tending to the garden with a vigor that seemed impossible. Her cheeks were rosy, her posture straight, and her laugh as bright as the morning sun. Clara! Tommy! She called, waving them over. Look at this! I woke up feeling so wonderful today, like I'm 20 years younger. Clara's eyes filled with tears as she hugged her grandmother. It worked, she whispered to Tommy. The well listened. Lessons learned. Word of Granny May's recovery spread quickly through the village, and people spoke of the well with renewed wonder. Thornton, however, was never the same. Stripped of his wealth and consumed by guilt, he left Willowbrook and was seldom seen again. For Clara and Tommy, life didn't become perfect overnight, but it did become brighter. With Granny May healthy again, they had more time to spend as a family, baking pies, playing games, and tending to their small garden. As for the Wishing Well of Echoes, it remained in its quiet corner of the forest, watching and waiting. Villagers learned to approach it with caution and reverence, knowing its power was real, but its favor was not to be taken lightly. The well had a simple rule: kindness begets blessings, and selfishness bears consequences. Those who understood its secret found more than their wishes granted. They found their hearts transformed. And so, the legend of the well lived on, a timeless reminder that true magic lies not in wishes, but in the goodness within us all.